Hey guys, welcome back. This is Josh with Ancient Amnesia Podcast. We're back with another quick clip show. Today, a little grim. Recent article posted by Kristen Romy at Nat Geo about a find in Peru where more than 140 children were ritually killed in a single event more than 500 years ago. So we know that human sacrifice is unfortunately a part of our deep history. This has been done by every group around the world since very early beginnings. We know that the Peruvians, Aztec, Maya, Olmec all participated in this. Sometimes it was conquest sacrifices to rid the tribes of their mating men or birthing mothers. So we have all kinds of reasons why this was happening in the ancient past. The most common would be religious. Some of it could be tied to weather patterns. If the sun doesn't return at a certain time or there's not enough rain, people start to starve and people think the gods are angry. So they give up the society's most valuable possession, which would be their children, as a plea for returning rain or desirable weather patterns. This particular find seems to be the largest single incident of mass child sacrifice in the Americas, likely so far in world history. It has been discovered on Peru's northern coast. Archaeologists have found more than 140 children and 200 young llamas appeared to be ritually sacrificed in an event that took place some 550 years ago on a windswept bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. This was the capital at the time of the Chimu Empire. Scientific investigations by the international and interdisciplinary team led by Gabriel Prieto of the University of De Trillo and John Verano of Tulane University are ongoing. While incidents of human sacrifice among the Aztec, Maya, and Inca have been recorded in colonial-era Spanish chronicles and documented in modern scientific excavations, the discovery of large-scale child sacrifice event in the little-known pre-Columbian Chimu civilization is unprecedented in the Americas, if not the entire world. So, very grim. They do have quite a lot of photos of this particular event that were preserved in dry sand. This is only how we can find this stuff. There was some natural conditions to preserve it. More than a dozen children revealed just in one day by the archaeological team. The majority of the ritual victims were between 8 and 12 years old. These guys did not expect anything like this. The sacrifice site, formerly known as Las Llamas, is located on a low bluff just 1,000 feet from the sea, amid a growing spread of center-block residential compounds in Peru's northern Huanaco district. Less than half a mile to the east of the site is now the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Chanchan, an ancient Chimu administrative center, and beyond its walls, the modern provincial capital of Trujillo. At its peak, this empire controlled a 600-mile territory along the Pacific coast and interior valleys from the modern Peru-Ecuador border to Lima. So this was a pretty big civilization. We don't hear much about these. Recently, the elongated skull phenomena has brought attention to Peru along with the Nazca Lines. There was some very interesting people and groups in these areas. We're just now learning about who they were and where they came from. Only the Inca commanded a larger empire than the Chimu in pre-Columbian South America, and superior Inca forces put an end to the Chimu Empire around 1475. So these guys were contenders to the Inca Empire, which I'm sure everyone here has heard of. The famous Machu Picchu fortress high in the Andes. Human settlements along Peru's northern coast are susceptible to climatic disruptions caused by El Niño weather cycles. A rough area to live in. You can see the site of the sacrifice, where the modern town is. where the archaeological complex is now, and it's very close to the ocean, very dry climate. So they didn't expect to find anything like this. When the remains of 42 children and 76 llamas were found during an emergency dig directed by study co-author Brito, an archaeologist was excavating a 3,500-year-old temple down the road from the sacrifices. The local residents first alerted him to the human remains. By the time excavations concluded, that lost llamas in 2016, more than 140 sets of child remains and 200 juvenile llamas have been discovered. Rope and textiles found in the burials are radiocarbon dated to between 1400 and 1450. So they did do a good dating of this particular site. Many of the children had their faces smeared with a red cinnabar-based pigment during the ceremony before their chests were cut open, most likely to remove their hearts. The sacrificial llamas appear to have met the same fate. So these guys dressed them up and pretty Mayan style took out their hearts. So very brutal, very brutal. Evidence for the ritual killings includes a skull stained with a red cinnabar paste pigment, a human rib bone with cut marks, and a sternum severed in half. The skeletal remains of both children and animals show evidence of cuts to the sternum as well as rib dislocations, which suggest that the victims' chests were cut open and pulled apart, perhaps to facilitate the removal of their heart. The remains of 3 adults, a man and 2 women, were found in close proximity of the children and animals. Signs of blunt force trauma to the head and a lack of grave goods with the adult bodies led researchers to suspect that they may have played a role in the sacrifice event and were dispatched shortly thereafter. Very, very interesting. Right now, we have a lot of things going on in that area, and they are just now getting down there to dig some of this stuff out. If it is a veritable archaeological playground in these areas. So lots to come in the future with this kind of research. They don't really know exactly why. There's civilizations that have yet to be discovered in this area, and we are going to continue to pull up these articles and try to find them and find out more about them. Please go to ancientamnesia.com for more. We archive all of our information there. Check out our Facebook page at Ancient Amnesia Facebook. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.